It's Wave 3, baby! As always, I'll be rating each course based on 4 categories. The course, the look, the music, and the X factor, giving them a score out of 5 where 3 is, it's alright. The gameplay show will be on 200cc because I can show more of the course this way. Sometimes I drive off the map, ignore that. The Rock Cup. London Loop from Mario Kart Tour. London, this is where they make Xenoblade. I've been to Bloodborne Land once for a day and a half over 20 years ago. We had a lot of time between changing planes to go to Barcelona, you know, a cool place, so we decided to tour the city. The only things I remember from that trip was that it rained the whole time, which is apparently normal. Everyone we interacted with, even the tour guides, were all kind of racist. And at one point, we were in line for a public restroom, and this guy in a suit comes in and says, "Sorry, or in a hurry." He skips the line, stands like 5 feet back from the urinal, zips his fly down, and just pressure washes it with his piss. Doesn't wash his hands and leaves. And I'm just like, what is happening? Get me out of this country. If you haven't noticed, I haven't been talking about the course at all because there's not much to say. It's not at all a bad course, but it's about as flat and static as Queen Lizzie's body. I like that every lap is different and has some pretty good drifting on higher speeds, but sometimes if you're not super familiar with the course, it's hard to tell which street you're supposed to go down, even with the arrows. Plus, the environment design of London Loop lacks any sort of distinct visual tells. It's just building, so your brain doesn't go, oh, I remember this section, there's a right turn coming up. It's just kind of bland, like British food. Hey, and croquettes! If you've never played the original Mario Kart Tour, it's pretty much a game on rails, so which way you need to go isn't really an issue there like it is here. One thing I do like is the chain chomps come off the chain on lap 3, maybe to reference the changing of the guard outside of Buckingham Palace. Colonization! To its credit though, this and Berlin Byways are the first World Tour courses that feel like they're in an actual city and not just a diorama of a city, you know? And by then, Boo Lake GBA. In the first 2 waves, the remakes of the Super Circuit courses from the Game Boy Advance were very much like, look, this boosted pass ain't got an infinite budget, we gotta cut corners somewhere, right? So I wasn't really expecting much from a remake of Boo Lake, but oh my god, they added the lake to Boo Lake with an underwater section and an anti-gravity section and lots of lanterns, big loogie mansion. Do you know what this means? They actually tried. It's nice to see them incorporate more recent mechanics when modernizing these older courses for the booster pass. Hopefully this continues in waves 4 through 6 and for course remakes in future Mario Karts, if there are future Mario Karts, and don't just port this one over and over instead. That being said, this quick course is forgettable but overall fine. I like the way the moonlight glazes over the water. It's a nice touch to its spooky aesthetic. Should've had more booze though. Rock Mountain. Such an action-packed course, yeah? In Mario Kart 7, this course at the end of the Mushroom Cup, the first cup in the game, to really showcase the new gliding mechanic. The problem is, the gliding mechanic isn't bad, but it's not particularly fun or interesting either. There's barely even course here, you just kind of glide over the whole thing. It is sort of fun to try to glide over as much of the course as you can, but if you're wondering what it's like to drive on it instead, you're not missing anything. Other than that, this course is fine. It's a big nothing, it's whatever. You've got to dodge boulders that almost have no chance of actually hitting you, and the music sounds like Sonic Adventure 1 music. Maple Treeway Wii. One of the absolutely classic Wii courses. Looks like the backdrop for a fall influencer post as part of a pumpkin spice latte Starbucks promo. You got mushrooms popping out of the leaf piles. It used to be mushrooms or bananas, now it's just mushrooms. Maybe boomers were right. Maybe we are getting too soft on the kids. I swear they removed some of the trick spots from the original though, but it could just be my imagination. I don't feel like plugging in Mario Kart Wii to check. That game is doo-doo. You still got a couple big wigglers running around. They should bring back Wiggler as a playable character. I said wigglers, Nintendo, not the other one. Jesus. The Moon Cup. Berlin Byways from Mario Kart Tour. I don't know anything about Berlin besides the wall. You know, this very solemn piece of history that had a lasting impact for generations, which here is represented by thwomps falling over. I'm not sure if that's funny or offensive, but it does mean that World War II is technically canon in the Mario universe. Based on the course, Berlin looks like a nice place. It has a train that doesn't move, but there's no way I can afford foreign travel in this economy. Unless you, the viewer, sign up for my YouTube memberships, you'll gain exclusive benefits like, since I know nothing of Germany's capital, it's time for everyone's favorite game show. Fun facts about Berlin I found on Google. Did you know Berlin is 9 times bigger than Paris, however it has 1/4 the average population density? Did you know there are 180 museums in Berlin, such as the... Nope. And did you know 1 in 8 residents of Berlin live below the poverty line, and the city has a huge homelessness problem? Ugh. Anyways, this course is fine. Like a lot of the World Tour courses, I like how each lap is a different version from Mario Kart Tour. But as a result, lap 2 is really long, but laps 1 and 3 are pretty short. And since 5 of the 6 World Tour courses are from more, areas, would it be possible for the future courses to be from more, melanated areas? Like, I don't know, Mumbai Motorway, Lagos Lane, Baghdad Boulevard, something? Peach Gardens DS, another fan favorite Mario Kart course from both Mario Kart DS and Mario Kart Wii. It's got some great visual upgrades with the statuesque trimmed hedges. That being said, you know how the course is called Peach Gardens? Why did they remove the gardens? Originally you had to dodge the gardens, but instead they're replaced by nothing. Or the gardens all stomped out by the film crew while they was setting up for the new movie? Because Girl Boss Peach would not approve.
Bowser is coming.
I like how in this version, in lap 3 you drive backwards and glide over a lot of the course, and drive past the crap-ass slow drivers. If I were losing at Mario Kart, I would simply do better. You can fly through Luigi, you can enter Peach. This is a really cool change to help add some variety to the experience. These more experimental types of designs, along with the tour courses where every lap is different, are great changes I hope returns in the future full-size Mario Kart games, again, if there are any. And now that I can see in high definition just how large Peach's castle is, Mario, my man, you gotta lock this down. Merry Mountain. Seasonal Christmas content is always interesting to me. Halloween stuff makes sense because you can be spooky all year. Spooky is a year-long aesthetic. Christmas, not so much. It's fun to have seasonal events for the month of December, but then for the other 11 months of the year, it's just kinda there. I'm not gonna wear the Christmas hat in RuneScape all year long, you know? So for this brand new course, and by that I mean a course intended for Mario Kart Tour, the game where you had to pay $40 to play as Diddy Kong, that just happened to be added here at the same time, it's an interesting addition. Remember Sky High Sunday from Wave 2? A cold-themed course that's just a loop, a big circle? Well, they did the exact same thing here, and hope we wouldn't notice. I noticed. I will say, it's a nice looking course with sleigh belly music, and the best part, it's got a little train on it. You could take the turbo version, ooh, I pooped my diaper, path down below, or you could take the big Giga Chad train tracks up top. During the race, the train delivers coins, presents, and essential resources for our day-to-day living, just like real life. Support rail workers! Rainbow Road 3DS, one of the best Rainbow Roads ever, and this game's 4th Rainbow Road. Oh my god. It would be really funny if the Spiny Cup at the end of the pass next year ends up being 4 more Rainbow Roads. Make it a Rainbow Road circuit. The 3DS Rainbow Road is one of the best Rainbow Roads of all time, and the remake channels that energy into a course that's nearly on par with the quality of tracks from the base Mario Kart 8. Instead of 3 laps, you have one big long loop that has you traveling over different celestial objects. You can glide in space. Somehow, you can drive on the rings of Saturn. Somehow, you can pee on the moon. Somehow, you got the ships from Pikmin. Somehow. And of course, you have the highlight of the entire course. The Infinite Mushroom. Just an absolutely top tier course. They put it in Smash Bros. For a reason, and then took it out of Smash Bros. Because it was too complicated to bring back. Final thoughts. Wave 1 was mostly underwhelming. Wave 2 was a notable improvement, and Wave 3 is an even larger step up. The gap between the base game courses and the DLC courses isn't nearly as apparent with Wave 3. Hopefully this means for the remaining 24 courses they were saving the best for last, and it's not just, it's near Christmas, release a good course while people are in the spending mood. And it's wild to be receiving content updates and patches from Mario Kart 8 over 8 years after its initial release. There were even a few balance patches. I think they nerfed Wiggler Waluigi. I said Wiggler! They added an item toggle like Smash Bros. Has to make the game even more chaotic. Lightning doesn't knock you down if you're gliding, probably so these lightning only races are finishable. If I have one criticism, it's
Hey, where the
Double Dash tracks. 24 courses and not a single one from Double Dash? Yet you had time for crap like Toad Circuit and Sky High Sunday? Hello? Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Comment below with how you feel about the Wave 3 courses, and today's comment code word is choo-choo train. Comment choo-choo train if you made it all the way through the video, and that's it, video's over.